I mean, it came to a point where we just kind of just couldn't really
Understand
communicate with
each
each other.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
became, I guess, like different people. Like they always say, like you when you get together, get with somebody so young, you like it's gonna be a totally different person when you get older.
Right, and you just
And
constantly
yeah, so
change.
like we
Yeah,
started to become like different people. Like I mean, at our base we are the same, but like
absolutely.
we started to become different people. So like I wasn't the Jeremy that she married, and
And
she
this,
wasn't the Alexis that I married. We were like different people, literally.
but it's what's up, everybody? I'm Lex.
I'm Jeremy.
And as y'all can see, we got our own podcasting
We got a studio,
studio.
y'all. We got a studio.
Y'all,
On to Black Love Studio.
we are not recording at the house no more, and it feels so freaking good. Like literally last year when we were recording at the house, it took so much prep time. We would have to do all this cleaning and
Yeah, we had to move everything, all the
it
noise
was a lot.
toys. We had to bring all the equipment out of the boxes, set up, break down.
Yeah, it was a lot, but we won't get into that just yet. We're going to do some housekeeping really quick. So for starters, make sure y'all head over to odetoblacklove.com to order your t-shirts today. And be on the lookout. You know, Jeremy's wearing the one that's for sale right now, but we may have some fresh gear coming, so just stay on the lookout. Also, make sure you're following us on all social media platforms. So subscribe to this YouTube channel, or our YouTube channel, I should say, Ode to Black Love Podcast. And then follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Ode to Black Love. And then find us on Facebook at Ode to Black Love Podcast. Okay, so now that that's all out the way, what's up, baby? What we been doing?
We back.
I know, it feels weird, really.
Yeah,
it
it's
really
weird.
does.
So much has happened since we've been on here, man. Last season we ended with the rap party. I'm pretty sure most old listeners
Yes.
heard about the rap party. We had the rap party. It was
Wait, did we
crazy.
talk about the rap party on the episode?
No,
haven't.
we just said that we was having it.
Oh yeah. So if you listen to season 1 of Ode to Black Love podcast, you know that we were talking about our season end rap party. And so what a rap party is just a party to wrap up the season of our podcast, season 1, and y'all, it was lit. Like
Yeah,
it
it was
was
crazy.
it was probably
It
one
was
of the
fun.
best events I have been to all year. And honestly, people have been telling us, or have been telling us since, that it was one of the best events they have been to. The love was in the air. The energy was A1. I mean, when I say like the love was real, like we was all just in there having a good time drinking. We kind of had an open bar setting.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get whatever drink you want, but we didn't have everything there.
Yeah.
So we had like a Crown
Drinks was
tequila.
flowing. Drinks was flowing
And
for
you
sure.
could go get as much as you want. We had made some personalized charcuterie boxes. And yeah, we just had a really good
No, it was a
time. We
blast.
had DJ T Fresh. Oh my
T Fresh in
gosh.
the
If you
mix.
know anything about DJ T
Yeah.
Fresh, you know he gonna turn something up.
I mean, shout out to the Lord Chanel staff too. They had the drinks going.
My brother Greg, Deezy, come on. They came through, y'all. It was such a good time. It's something that we gonna do annually, and we definitely gonna probably start doing more stuff because, I mean, the vibes were right.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was a good time. Like, it was a good time.
So,
Shoot, what happened after that?
I mean, oh yeah, I guess we did get a studio since we've been gone.
And that was
It wasn't even planned, really.
It wasn't planned.
It wasn't
I don't know how. It just was. I think God just really put it on our spirits.
Yeah.
And on our minds to go ahead and get a studio and just move out of the house, because we were like, we are bringing a lot more people that we don't know. Like in season 1, most of those people we knew or knew somebody that knew them, so we more so trusted them in our space. But you know, your home is pretty sacred.
Yeah, it's
And you don't want everybody all up in there.
and
so
it just was too much. Like,
it was too much. Yeah. And so we were like, okay, let's start looking at a studio. And I don't know if it was your idea or mine, but we just were immediately on the same page about it.
Yeah.
And we started looking at spaces. We really wanted to stay on the east side of Oklahoma City. We really wanted to stay over there, but you know, after looking at a few studios, not hearing back from people,
No, we are where we are.
we found our spot, and it's good. It works perfect. It's by our home. So yeah, we're super excited to be in this studio. It definitely was an expense.
Yeah, expense. Yeah, I would say it was a process too, but definitely an expense. We upgraded everything. You can see we got the mic.
Yeah,
we got
baby.
the video.
We got the camera, lights. We got the sign. We painted.
Yeah,
like
we got more to come.
we got
too.
the furniture, and like you said, we got so much more we want to add. But yeah, it's lit. I mean, we really worked really hard together to get this studio together, and
So,
yeah. whole bunch of teamwork on that end, but we're
But
super excited for it.
But I guess we just kind of get into it. I mean, the main thing we really did since we left is a lot of personal growth. That little month, 2 months off that we've
Whew.
been done had,
Yes.
so much is going on. I feel like it's been like a whole year, but since we've been potting,
Right.
but yeah, we did a lot of personal growth, lots of therapy. We started couples therapy, couples counseling. I don't even know
Yes.
what to call it.
Couples therapy.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
started that together along to go along with our personal journeys, and that's just been
Right. So
an
that the
experience.
couples therapy, yes, has definitely been one of the biggest things we've done since we've been off. And it kind of came to a head because we were both in individual therapy, and it was interesting because we were both growing. Like, I mean, we were both making some good changes in our lives personally, right? But it was almost like, okay, I'm growing, and we could just
We
start
started to
feeling the
grow.
wedge.
I don't want
Yeah.
to say growing apart, but definitely started. How I like to explain it was like, man, I learned who I was even more. So it's like,
Yeah.
when you start to learn yourself more, you kind of become like a little hardened. Like, you're not gonna tell me what I am and what I'm not.
Exactly.
You know, it's like I know exactly what I am now. Like, I know that I got.
We
these
became
issues.
more
Yeah.
sure of ourselves, I think, probably than we
Yeah.
ever had been before. And so with that, us being so certain of who we were, whenever a small argument may arise, it's
Yeah.
like, nah, I know I'm right.
Yeah, you just start getting like a
You
little
full of-
overly
yeah,
confident.
you be
Getting overly
confident.
confident in like
Yeah.
your arguments. Like, nothing on me. I know that I got these
I
issues.
know I'm good.
You're
I
not
know.
gonna tell me. Yeah, like I know me personally. So we
Yeah.
started to do those things, and we started to kind of
Yeah.
started to kind of like, I don't want to say butt heads, but kind of start to kind of grow apart a little bit.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, we were growing a lot, but we were growing in our individual lives, but
Yeah,
not
but not
taking it
together.
back to
Yeah,
our
we
marriage and
weren't
like,
growing
okay,
together.
how does this look in my marriage,
Yeah.
right?
And it's weird because I feel like we were growing like at different pace. I feel like at some point, like Alexis was ahead of me.
Yeah,
And like
yeah,
she was
yeah.
fine, like being
Yeah,
ahead of
yeah,
me.
absolutely.
And she's like, she was kind of good, and I was just kind of okay. But then I started like going and started getting a little deeper in mine. So like I started to come on strong,
I'm like,
like I'm sure of myself now.
whoa.
And so she like, woo, like you acting different a little bit, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like this is what it is or whatever. So
Yeah.
I mean, it came to a point where we just kind of just couldn't really
Understand
communicate
each
with each other.
other. Yeah,
we,
yeah.
we became, I guess, like different people. Like they always say, like when you get together, get with somebody so young, you like it's gonna be a totally different person when you get older.
Right, and you just constantly change.
So like we
yeah.
started to become like different people. Like I mean, at our base we are the same, but
Absolutely.
like we started to become different people. So like I wasn't the Jeremy that she married,
And
and she
this-
wasn't the Alexis that I married. We were like different people, literally.
But it's so funny because it's like while we were these different people, it's only in a few areas. So in other areas, it's like we the same, obviously, and we on the same page, obviously. And so it'd be these small things that we differ about. And we're so used to being alike and just we kind of
we always get
aligned all the time. Anytime we had a little bit of friction or anytime we had moments where we didn't align in views or understandings, it was like, oh, nah, understand me. And it was like a fight to get each other to understand each other's perspective instead of just respecting each other's differences and perspectives. And so we got to a point where we were like, I don't know how to get him to understand me. And he was like, I don't know how to get her to understand me. And we like, we need to go to therapy because we need to learn how to communicate and speak each other's language.
Yeah.
And I think it's so interesting because I feel like a lot of people pride themselves on loving people according to their love languages. And I think that was something that we knew we needed to do. And we thought we were working on it. And we probably were. Let me not quote it. We were working on it. But when you truly work every day to love somebody according to the way they need to be loved, it's challenging. It's hard. But you gotta put in that work. And so I would say this past month or so has been full of us putting in work on our marriage. Like,
I mean, I guess we could kind of get into it. Like me and Alexis, we like she said earlier, we really understood. We really agree on a lot.
Yeah,
we really agree on a whole lot. But it'd be just certain things like we have two totally different like love languages, and so we communicate in two different in total ways.
Right.
So it's like sometimes I will be saying something literal, very literal, and Alexis might need a little more than that, or I might be saying something literal that I feel like she should understand, and she don't quite understand it.
Or I sorry, I don't mean to drop, but I tried to understand it and perceive it a way in which he did not mean. It's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, yes, I meant that, but not as literal as I took it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of that. Like, I mean, I forget, like, what's the scenario that we went through that we just had to work through?
Oh, that's
Uh,
a good question.
I well, I mean, an example is like just I'm a person who likes to take on a big load. And I don't
Yes,
really like to
yes,
express
yes.
myself a lot about like the stuff that I'm going
Right.
through. I don't like to ask people for a lot. I don't like to like lean on people for a lot. I just like I always add more to my plate. I don't ever like
Yes.
pass any on to anybody else. I just always add on to my plate, add on to my plate. So it became a situation where I don't know. I forgot what happened. Either like I just kind of was feeling a little jaded. I don't know. You just going to therapy, you just start to learn stuff that you don't think you'd be passive aggressive about, and you
Mhm.
realize like, oh, I really do hate that, and I'm just like putting up with it for no reason. So like,
What was it? I don't remember.
it was just I was just doing a lot, and I just was just asking you to do stuff. You remember like it was just like the whole breakfast thing. We had
Oh,
the
yes,
issue with
yes,
the
yes,
breakfast,
yes,
and just like
yes.
do what you kind of say you're gonna do, and if you can do more, I want you to do more. Like I don't want to have to always like do more anymore. Like I will, but I don't want to
Yeah.
always have to be the one that's doing more.
Right,
Not that you
right,
don't do
right.
anything, but that's just kind
Right.
of how our relationship was, where it's just like, oh, Jeremy could kind of do it,
Yeah.
and it was like, yeah, I would do that, but
And it's crazy because like in the beginning of our relationship, um, I think, and this is when you bring in two totally different people together. You gotta learn to, I guess, be more understanding because, like, when we first got together, and even now, like Jeremy does not mind doing stuff. Like he's just like, oh, I'll take care of this. But he had a habit of always trying to fix and save and like, oh, I'll
yeah,
do this, oh, I'll do that, oh, I'll do this, although it's inconveniencing him. And so in my mind, after years and years of that being our relationship, it's like, oh, he doesn't care about doing X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and Z, although it's a lot, that's just him. But in reality, it's like it is him to want to be helpful, but he also had to establish some boundaries. Because there were things that would inconvenience me that I may mention to Jeremy and he'll be like, oh, I'll take care of it. And so I'm not understanding that he's taking care of it. If, although it's inconveniencing him, for me, I'm just thinking, oh, he's taking care of it because he has the capacity to do so. And so it was just a lot of like just learning to understand like okay no, this is also causing him an inconvenience, and by me not doing it because I'm inconvenienced, I'm literally just passing the
yeah,
inconvenience off, opposed to okay, it's inconveniencing me, and if I ask Jeremy it will also inconvenience him. And so we just had to kind of learn through that, and he had to grow to kind of be able to let me
yeah,
know exactly what it was, because like I said, he would never express that anything is inconvenient. You would just be like, I got it, I got it, I got it.
yeah,
And so it's like, okay, like he don't mind it. He has the capacity, but in reality, it was like, no, he's
uh,
inconveniencing himself to
yeah, and
accommodate, to make me not be inconvenienced, which was fun while it lasted. But
yeah.
now it's like to be his partner, he can't always, save me when I'm inconvenienced. And so
I remember the popping off point now.
what was it, babe?
It was a photo shoot. It was a family photo
Oh
shoot.
my gosh, yes.
Yes, it was a family photo shoot. So okay, so I'm a big OU football fan, Oklahoma
Yes,
football fan,
yes,
whatever,
yes.
whatever. So anyway, we had a photo shoot schedule. We knew we was gonna have a photo shoot. It's past now, so like Labor Day weekend, we was gonna have a photo shoot for just family. We just kind of updating our family photos, and
Yes, because
so
we try to take them every year.
yeah, so I told Alexis a while ago, I was like, man, because I had mentioned that I kind of do a lot and stuff. So I was like, I just want you to kind of take initiative. If you could just like do stuff, just do stuff. Don't always have to like
Ask his
ask me
opinion.
on everything. Like just if you can like start to take care of stuff, do stuff. That kind of deal. And I said that, but it we got to the photo shoot and she like
Well, really
scheduled a photo
quick,
shoot.
before we go too much further, one line he specifically said was, I just want to be able to just show up. You don't have to ask my opinion, just take care of it. I just want to be able to just show up.
Yeah, I said that. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. But so anyway, so I've been having this issue. Well, I guess it came to the light that I had an issue. But OU had a game at the same time as a photo shoot, and it was just kind of like he didn't even consult me, about the photo shoot, and I was kind of like in my feels a little bit, like I was just feeling like unseen. And it's been like multiple. It was part of our, I guess, part of our relationship. Part of me just always taking on more, and just
Mm-hmm.
kind of always giving up bits and pieces of myself, I'll say. And where I became where I felt like I just wasn't like seen in the house. Like it's never like what I need or what I want. I
Yeah.
felt like,
He was
and
putting
so
himself he was putting himself third, and we were putting him
yeah,
third. Like, okay,
yeah.
it's Noah, then it's Lake, and then him.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like I would always put myself kind of on the back burner, and then it was like something I really care about, and it's like he didn't even like consult me, because I guess and that was wrong for me because we worked talked about it, but I was
Yeah.
also like projecting, like I expected her to know like when OU is playing because she knows like I'm a big fan, and it's like okay, the season is coming
Yeah.
up, and it's just like how it goes. We've been together for 6 7 years now, so like how I am,
You
and
know
it's
I like
like
OU football.
and it's like you didn't even
You knew we had a
yeah
game this weekend.
yeah, you
I'm
didn't even like
like,
bring that into like thought, or didn't. And not only that, you didn't even ask me like anything about the photo shoot. And then it was like, okay, like we had to go through this whole talking out. Well, we went to therapy first, but then we had to go through this whole like talk out. Like, okay, I had to
yeah.
explain to
We
her
had to put
like,
in that work.
yeah, this is like the
Literally.
hard part where
This
you
is
gotta
the
like,
work.
yeah, where we had to like really just sit down and say like, okay, like I know I said I wanted this, but this is exactly what I want. And so she has to go through like, is this what you want? And
And
I'm
like,
like, no, that's not what I want. I'm not
yeah.
saying that. And so you kind of like want to give up on the conversation because you keep going back and forth.
Yes,
Like it's
yes.
not
It's
an
so
easy
easy to
conversation.
shut
Yeah.
down when you don't understand each
Yeah,
other.
it's easy while we saying it right now, but it's like
Yeah.
during that time, it's like we really just kind of frustrated. It's like I don't get why
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
so easy
understand
to
me
shut
because
down.
she was doing what she thought I told her to do, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you doing absolutely everything I don't want. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely everything
Yeah.
I don't want. And
Yes.
so we trying to communicate through that because you're like, I'm just doing what you say, and I'm like, that's okay, yes, but this is what I want, what I need, and it's kind of like
Yeah.
okay, but like when do I blah blah blah.
And also credit to you because as a man, first of all, I won't even say as a man, I won't put a gender construct on it. But as Jeremy Coleman, he is not used to communicating how he feels or his
Yeah.
needs. He's so used to putting everybody, not just his immediate family, me and Noah, but just everybody first. He's just so used to taking away from himself. And so we literally had to sit in a conversation for an hour while he expressed those
Well, I guess
feelings.
it was the
And
night
it was
before, and then it rolled over to
yeah,
the
no,
next
yeah, it was
morning.
it was
Yeah,
probably a
it was.
total about a 3 hour conversation
Yeah.
of trying to understand and being patient with him so he could actually tell me what it was he needed and just also not only just being patient but just really being there to understand. A lot of our arguments would be trying to prove what
Prove
like I
a
said
point.
before,
Yeah.
prove our perspective and like get the other person to understand. But this was
Yeah.
one of the first conversations where it was like, I don't care about my perspective. I don't care about mine. Let's understand
Yeah.
or not he don't care about his because his was what he needed to portray to me, but it was like I don't care about trying to be right in this. I just genuinely want to understand. And I think when I said that to you, we just literally sat there until we could understand
Yeah, I mean,
what we
we
were
really
talking
sat there,
about.
like you were
Yeah.
saying, like I literally had to like bring up scenarios, like type out,
Yes,
cause it,
yes.
like when we went to work, it was awkward that morning a little bit, and then
Yeah.
so I went to work, and then it was like, all right, I just like kind of like text her some scenarios. I was like, I don't know how else to say it. I'm not a person. I'm a man of like few words. Like I can't.
Yes.
And this whole new feelings thing is all new to me. Like this whole like feeling stuff, I don't really know how to
Yeah.
express my feelings. To be honest,
He don't know how to label them either.
yeah, like I don't really know how to
He's
like
learning and I
yeah,
love
like
it.
it's hard to like anger, all of that stuff
It's
is
like I'm
new to
not
me.
mad, but this is what you
Yeah,
always say. It's like I'm not
mad,
mad.
like I'm bothered. You know what I'm
I'm
saying? Like
not this.
yeah, I
And
don't
it's the
really know.
process of elimination.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird to like say that I don't know how to like express my feelings, but it's like a true thing. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, like I know how I feel, but I don't know how to like verbally express like okay,
What the
this is
feeling
what
is.
I'm going through.
Yes,
So it's kind of hard
yes.
for me. So, but anyway, so I had to literally like, cause I'm super logical person.
Oh my
All I do is
gosh.
operate on logic. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
I don't really operate out of like emotions or
No.
feelings. It's really just a lot of logic.
Mhm.
So I had to literally write down scenarios and send them to Alexis. Like, look, in this scenario that I didn't like in the past, even if I didn't bring it up or something like that, like
Right.
in a scenario in the past, like this is how it went, and this is how like this is the perfect way for me to like understand it.
Yeah.
Like, like I would like you to like the photo shoot thing. I would like you to like reach out to the photo shoot lady, kind of, get all of the gist of the most, and then you can say, hey, I'm talking to the photo shoot lady. I was thinking 2 o'clock on Saturday. Does that work for you? And I'd be like, no, that doesn't, work for me. And then we can kind of like work from around there.
Right.
And then I could say, okay, is that if that's the only time she have, or that's the best time that worked for us, like cool.
Right,
Like
right.
I can move what I gotta move, but like it
Yeah.
can be a discussion at that point.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to have to do the whole. I'm about to reach out to the lady. Do blah
Yeah,
blah. Like that's
yeah.
not like what I want to be involved in.
Yeah.
But like
And
just
it's
like able to make my own decision. Like have
right.
some.
And it was hard to understand because like going back, when we talked about things before, he was like, I need you, like, I need to just be able to show up. When I would ask him questions, like, I don't care, just do it. I don't care. Time and stuff like that, like, he didn't care about, he doesn't care about, I shouldn't say didn't, he doesn't care about until he cares about it, which is like football season and things like that. So
Well, I
that's,
won't even say until I care about it. Like, I just want to be like in. Like, does this work for you? Because I can have other
but there
stuff
have also
planned.
been times, but there have also been times where you just like, just schedule it and I'll schedule around it.
That has been, and it probably be less times like that now. You know, it probably be less
Okay,
times
yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
now.
No, and
Because
that's
like I'm
real.
not,
That's real.
because like
So,
okay, because a lot of times I have stuff playing in my head, and I just don't speak up on it,
right,
or like
yeah.
we be like, and I just be like, I just move whatever I got. Like I don't mind moving what I got, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
okay, like we can discuss like okay, you want to go out to dinner or whatever. Like okay, cool. Like
yeah.
in order for us to do that, I need to be able to do this early in the day,
Right.
and we can make that work. Like it's not a big
And
deal.
so, yeah, so the thing was, I took it literal. And going back, that was something that we learned in therapy. We were told, try to communicate. I was told, try to communicate to Jeremy more literally, understand more literally. He was told to communicate more with affection. And so when we would have those conversations about, oh, I just want to show up, or I just want to do this, or don't even ask me, just tell me what time, and I'll, when those things were said, it's like, okay, thinking literally, let me just do what is said, but it's like, no, not quite. But now it makes complete sense. Of course, you want to be consulted. Of course, you want to know what's going on. But I think at first it was like, he doesn't care. He doesn't care because he said X, Y, and Z. And I'm trying to take every little bullet point literally, versus more so communicating, because what it really is a healthy balance, because I'm an over communicator. And so that was kind of the issue before. I would be like, I want to schedule a shoot. When you want to do it? Okay, who you want to do it? Okay, what do you think we should wear? And I'm asking him every single small detail, and he doesn't want all of that. But then I went to the extreme, kind of, because he was like, oh, I don't need X, Y, and Z. So I'm like, okay, he doesn't want me to do that. I'm going to do exactly what he says and not even include him. And it makes sense as we talk about it now. Like, of course, it's a healthy balance. But when you're really trying to...
And it's hard to change like your habits,
Exactly.
your lifestyle. Like you really have to like change yourself, be malleable to your partner. Because like I had to like change how I communicated. I couldn't just be like, "Oh, you need to understand me," and she can't just be like, "Oh, I'm doing what you're doing." Like we literally had to say like, "Okay, why don't you understand me?
Yeah.
What are you missing? Okay, this is what I say. Did you get that? Like, okay,
And we can't just shut
I got this
down.
part, but I didn't get that part. And the hard part is just like keep pushing through.
Right, because a
it's
lot
like,
of times...
I would want to shut down.
Yeah, I was just about to say, a lot of times, like, even in the past when he's like, I just want to be able to show up, I'm like, okay. Yeah. Instead of saying, okay, and he might just say, I just want to show up. That's it. In the discussion. He wouldn't say in the discussion, but you know what I mean? The conversation would end there instead of further communicating, like, exactly what it is we want. And like he said, these conversations are not hard to stay in, because it's easy to find, like, a loophole in the argument, per se, and be like, no, that don't make sense because you told me this time. And it's like, that's not the point. Like, what he told you that time, all that stuff, don't matter. Because right now, what y'all trying to focus on is how to proceed for the future and how to actually understand each other so this problem doesn't occur in the future.
So I guess my main thing I learned in that situation that was very prevalent is just like, like it was weird for me because like I'm the literal person, the logical person. It's like, yes, you said this in the past, and I did this. So so it's like I had to say like, okay, yes, I said that in the past, but like that's what I said in the past. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I said in the past. Like you gotta really understand like your partner do change. Like that's what I said in the past, and this is what I need now. Like it ain't like you gotta flip every other week or nothing like that. But it's like that's what I needed then. But now, I've been going to therapy. I can understand myself more and express myself more. This is what I need now, and I need you to do this now or work with me. You know what I'm saying? It's not always one person. It's like meeting in the middle somewhere, of course. So
I think it's interesting though, because like when I was introduced to therapy, I was like, oh, this is good. I put Jeremy onto therapy, and he's like, okay, this is. At first, he was a little like, but then he's like, oh, this is good. I enjoy it, and you don't really, especially when you have a partner.
Building up a muscle.
You're building up a muscle, and you don't you know, when you go to the gym and you building your muscles, you be like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. You be sore the next day, all that stuff. Nobody, I feel like really talked about the growing pains of healing and just the growing pains of a relationship as you two are healing, and how you actually have to actively work to stay together while you're going through that process. And I know we never talked about it or thought about it because we were just like, oh, I'm in therapy, like, well, I'm healing, I'm doing that. And it's like, yes, you are, but you also have to make sure you're growing together and you're actually taking those things back to your relationship and making sure they all fit together. Yeah. Because when you heal from like past traumas or past situations or just things that you're dealing with, like, you change, and rightfully so, right? Like, if you letting go of that trauma, you don't have to be the same damaged person as you were before. Like, of course you have to change, but when you have a partner there with you, like, change may look a little bit different. You have to inform that partner of that change, and that way y'all can work and grow together. And so I would say this past 2 months since we've been off, we really been putting work into our relationship, and it feels so good. It's been hard as hell. It's been hard. It's been hard.
I'll tell you, therapy is not. It looks like great. we got it looking like, oh yeah, like you go in and you figure stuff out. Like, we will be having a good day and going to therapy and be walking out of there almost upset at each
hell
other. Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, bro, hell no.
Hell
you walk out of there like, hell no, I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell no, I don't agree
or
with that.
don't let the therapist be acting like she's siding too
she
close.
Be thinking that she
don't
like,
say
got
that.
favorites or something.
I love our therapist,
yeah,
first of all. I do
awesome.
love our
She's
therapist.
Awesome.
She's great. But sometimes I be thinking she's siding a little too much with Jeremy, but that's just my ego. I had to get home and be like, but that girl is not biased. She telling wrong where wrong is. And so,
because without therapy, you can just go on without your day, act like everything is gravy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not going to say nothing. Like, I'm just going to put that to the side. But then you go in there to therapy and like, you like, you know what, why we here? You know what? Yeah, like, I didn't like when you did that. And then so naturally your person
may get defensive. Yep.
And you just like, like, boom. And so whereas you like, shit, if we never came in here, the whole day would have been just fine.
Absolutely.
Like, we went home, had dinner, kissed, laid, watch a Ted Lasso, and we've been fine. But now we gotta separate for an hour and then come back and love each other later.
Which I think is great that I go to the gym after therapy now, because it's like we gotta separate because I'm going to work out.
Yeah, or we gotta go get Noah or something like that.
Yeah.
So we got to like cool down time. It's
but
just funny.
I will say that for us, because. And it's what our therapists tell us all the time. What do she call it? She's like, y'all don't have fights. Y'all have...
not banter, but just something like that.
Not bickering. No, she doesn't. She says, she calls it something else. But she's like, y'all don't have real fights. Y'all don't have real problems.
She said you got spats.
No, it's something else.
Spats. It's something like that.
We're going to ask her next week. But she was like, y'all don't have, like, real fights. Y'all just have these spats. We'll say spats right now. But y'all have these spats where y'all kind of go back and forth, and then y'all laugh a little bit later. And she reminds us, like, that we don't have anything big. And I think because we don't have anything big, when we go to therapy to work on something like communication, it'd be like causing problems that are unintended. And it's like, I don't know. It's interesting, but we're learning so much from it.
No, a lot.
And so, like, it's not like we go in there with a whole bunch of resentment. We go in there to work out maybe issues that happened over the week or in the past, and we kind of talk through them, and we are able to understand each other's perspective. Maybe not immediately. Like I said, I may leave a little hot-headed, but I feel like both of us, you know, after some cool down time and after some real thought, and even with our therapist perspective, like, we are able to be like, okay, ego aside, like, maybe I messed up. Or just like him with the conversation about the photo shoot, he's like, okay, you're right. Like, he finally said, okay, you know what? I did say that, and it's changed. Because that was one of my biggest issues. I'm like, but wait, you said you don't care. And I just could not understand, like, you're saying you don't care, but you do care. What is going on? And so he finally had to be like, okay, I did say that, and now this is it.
Move on. Get over.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, I finally could, because I was thinking, like, he wanted me to think both of those were existing in the same space, and I was just like, I could not understand that. And but
been working through it, but I mean, I want to reiterate, like going to therapy is
Yeah.
hard. It's not
Yeah.
easy. Like going to therapy, figuring out your issues is not easy. Like everybody, I feel like most people,
Personally,
yeah,
oof, and
personally
in
and
a
together, it's just
relationship.
like you got to show up and
Oh my
you
gosh,
got
you
to show
don't.
up at this scheduled time and just talk about your issues
Even
instead of just
even
like
when you
putting them
don't
to the
want
back.
to,
Yeah, it's like okay, like even if you don't have nothing to talk about, you go in there and
you
sometimes.
find
Well,
some
I'll
shit.
speak for myself. Sometimes I go in there and be like, man, I actually had a good week, but then you get to talking and you just like, yeah, it was a good week, blah 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 blah. You be like, but you know what? Like I ain't even, blah blah blah. It might be something personal. Like I think I got this, this issue with myself or something that come out of it. And it's just like it
Yeah,
just is really just uncomfortable. Growth is just uncomfortable because you gotta
uncomfortable.
you have to change, but like the people around you also have to like
Yes,
accept,
adapt.
yeah,
Yeah,
the new version of you. So it's like
yes. They
it's
don't have
just
to accept it,
totally,
but they
yeah.
need to adapt if they want to
Well, yeah,
stay.
if they want to stay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's just
yeah,
like totally it's just different. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
understanding yourself is different. Like understanding like, okay, like I never consider myself a sensitive person. But I think recently I've been like, I might be sensitive. Like I take stuff personal. I don't think I'm like sensitive and like I'll go behind and like do catty
Yeah, no, not
But
that
like
type of
I definitely
sensitive.
like take stuff
He
personal. You know what I'm
does,
saying? Like
yeah.
I definitely take stuff personal.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like
Cause some stuff is personal.
yeah, some stuff is, but like I take stuff personal
But
and
he
yeah.
used to act like he didn't.
Like I
That's
didn't care.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
my
But
main
it's
thing that I
like
learned in therapy is to stop saying like I don't care,
yes,
because like
yes,
ultimately I do care. It's just like
yes.
but I still ain't. It's stuff that I learned in therapy like this week or when I left therapy. Cause sometimes your mind keep going. You like dang after therapy that I still ain't even talked to Alexis about that I probably need to. Just some personal stuff, nothing crazy, but it's just like
Now I'm intrigued.
yeah. Now it's just like you just get in there and start to learn yourself more. And I
Yeah.
think the more you are able to like learn yourself, the more you're able to like uh expand and reach out and help other people.
Woo.
Because like when you don't know yourself, you
Speak
really
on
can't
it,
even like
baby.
help anybody else. Like when they're going through like issues,
Or you can act like you
or
helping
yeah, you
them,
could
but
just give
it's
like
not real
shallow
help.
help. Yeah, you
You
could be
know
going through the
what?
same thing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Gabrielle Union said something like, how can I help somebody with something that I did not successfully get through? And that's
Hmm.
real. Like when you try to help people with other stuff that you ain't even helped yourself with, it's like you're giving badass advice.
Yeah,
But the fact that you actually kind of work through that and you have like, okay, I've worked through this. Now I can actually help you get through it.
yeah.
And yeah, that's exactly
So yeah,
what you're
so I mean,
saying.
this therapy and then this podcast and stuff. I mean, if I reached out to you and said, bro, like hit me up if you ever like need to talk or something like
That's
that, I
real.
genuinely like
Yeah,
mean it
yeah.
now. Like as before, like I would not tell nobody to hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Like I
No,
wouldn't even
no.
lie and be like, hit me up, bro. I'll talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, but now that I have experience and then I've kind of started to like grow and know myself more
Yeah.
emotionally. Like if I say hit me up, like if you want to talk, I'll give you my advice. If I don't honestly know.
We
I'll
gonna
tell
say
you
we
to
don't
go.
know.
Yeah, I'll tell
Yeah.
you to go to somebody, or like I mean, I say like I haven't experienced it, but I'll talk to somebody that has
Yeah.
experienced it because like I feel like I'm starting to learn the more that you speak with people, especially doing
Mm-hmm.
this because I was a very closed off person. The more that you speak with people, the more
Yeah.
experiences they can share with you, and you can kind of share those experiences
With
with
other
other people.
people. Yeah.
So it's like I feel like just I mean, even if you feel like life is good, like don't like stop going to therapy. That's my thing because it's like
That's my problem.
I be feeling like okay, life is good sometimes, and I be wanting to not go, and be wanting to like
Call
call her,
in.
and
Yeah.
then I go, and then I
And you
leave, and
find
like
something out of it.
thank God
Yeah.
I went. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, cause it's like,
And
man, that felt good.
I
Like I
think
feel
that's
good.
what people have to understand. Therapy is not for when stuff is bad. Therapy is when stuff is good to make sure they stay good or make sure you can process them when they are bad. I know that was my biggest thing, like, cause I'm good for when I'm up, I'll cancel an appointment real quick, fast, in a hurry. But
Cause that will bring you down if you in a good mood
but
sometimes.
but you literally you get so much from it as far as the tools to just work through problems and just the tools to just kind of be able to process things and communicate things in those tough conversations. And so but one thing I did want to mention about therapy is that it helps you create boundaries, and I think
Mm,
that's one thing we've definitely done within the past few
boundaries.
months,
Yes.
especially my baby. It's tough at first, I ain't gonna lie. As a partner who was I was first to kind of start establishing my boundaries. When Jeremy started to establish boundaries, and they impacted me, it's tough. But no, like that is so beautiful being able to know yourself enough to say, okay, I cannot handle this. You cannot do this. And that's one thing we've learned and gotten from therapy is to be able to know our limits. And like I said before, Jeremy really didn't have a lot of limits when it came to his baby. He was like gonna be
No, I'll
doing,
do anything for anybody I care about for the most
but
part.
for Leck,
Yeah.
but for Leg, he would, and I didn't take advantage of it by any means, but it was something that I was like, oh, I expected.
She was
But then
spoiled.
I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled as hell. It was something that I expected, and it's not something I feel like that needed to be expected. It was something that I feel like was something that should have been more valued and had more boundaries on. And so now we've been establishing more boundaries in our relationship. And as funny as it sounds, it makes me understand him more. Like when I have to do things that are very inconvenient for me, and then it's like I appreciate him more because I'm like, oh, he'd be so willing to do this stuff. And and it's crazy because still, like if it inconveniences me, he'll still be like, oh, I'll still do it. Like it's really he will truly mean it and be like, it's fine. But I'm like, no, I want to do it.
Yeah. She gotta help me help myself
Yeah, I'd
sometimes.
be having to help him help himself. Like, no, because I know you're fine with doing it, but I want to respect your boundaries. And when I be doing it, I be like, boy, this life ghetto. No, I'm saying it's not ghetto, but it's like for real. It really is
Yeah.
like, no, I need to step up and make sure you're respecting your own boundaries, and I'm respecting those boundaries for you. And so I be like, no, you're not doing this for me. I'm a big girl. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
this taken care of. And he be like, okay, and I get it taken care of, and it be feeling like, damn, this shit is
It's kind of
so
funny.
inconvenient.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because now that we like talking about it, like Alexis used to try to have me establish boundaries a long time ago, like with
Yes,
family and
with
stuff like
family,
that.
yes.
And so now it's just kind of like she's like, I
Uh,
don't know, she kind of put it on the back burner and started to like understand, and now like boundaries are coming back up, and I'm kind of like, oh
yes,
yeah, like you was kind of like
yes.
right about the boundary
It's
thing.
like,
Like if I don't want to do something, like I should say it. That don't mean I'm not gonna do it, but like I can mention if something that makes me uncomfortable or if it's inconvenient for me,
yes,
because it might not be that big a deal to somebody else. They could
yes,
probably ask somebody else instead of just like
yes,
being
yes.
inconvenienced and being like, ooh,
It's
I'm inconvenienced and being upset and mad.
like you just mentioned. We're both kind of we were both kind of on opposite ends. Oh, I can't talk, but we kind of coming to the middle. Like he said, I was like hardcore, like, oh, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. You don't do, you don't say you're gonna do it. And he was like, no, no, no. And now he's more like he's coming close to the
Yeah,
boundary side. And I'm like, grandmother really wants us there. We just need to show up for grandmother.
yeah.
Or your dad doesn't ask us for much. And it's like not complete 180s, but it's like we are just
Continue
coming
to be
closer.
balanced. Continue to be
Yeah,
balanced.
balancing
Yeah.
each other.
Continue to be
Exactly.
balanced. I will
Exactly.
say, like they say in the Bible, you know, you want your partner to be equally yoked. I feel like if one of us go too far one way, the other person kind of like balance that person out,
Yes,
and we
yes,
just kind of keep
yes,
staying that good
yes.
little flow. And I think that's good for us. I don't think
Yes.
everybody has that, so I'm grateful for that because we be having a nice little flow. Like we definitely
We
pick up when
do.
the other person is slacking. And you know, and vice versa, and it's just kind of
Yeah.
like it's really a really beautiful thing. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Cause like
It's
now that we talking about it, cause you don't always talk about the stuff that you're going through. Now that we talking about it, it's like yeah, like you was doing that for me then, and then it's like yeah, I'm like doing that for you now, and it's like okay, like it's not an issue. It's just we just
you
continue to balance each other out, and we both try
exactly.
to become the best person we can be.
Because marriage is not 50-50, and
Yeah,
y'all know that.
yeah, we could,
Marriage is not
yeah, not always
50-50.
50-50. So we just continue to kind of try and balance each other out. So, I
Yeah.
mean, but that's where I'm at on that.
Yeah, that I mean that's yeah, that's really kind of what's been going on with us these past 2 months since we've been gone.
Yeah.
Y'all, we got so much that we're gonna be doing for the
Yeah, this year gonna
podcast
be
this
so. This
season.
season gonna be way. No,
It's
I'm not
gonna
gonna
be
say way different, but it's
different.
gonna be much different.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna be
it's
much
gonna be
different.
different,
It's gonna be
and
some new
y'all
stuff.
gonna love it. I just know it. Y'all gonna love it. We're super excited to be in the studio. We're super excited to be working on our marriage. One thing that I value the most about just kind of what we do is that like we talk and we have this podcast where we share love stories and we talk about black love and we talk about our perspective. But one thing we don't try to do is act like we're perfect. But
Mm-mm.
one thing we will do is put in the work. And I
Yeah.
think these past few months of this break have literally been focused on putting in the work. And like, I just want to give us a shout out for that because
Shout out.
like, we not out here acting like we're something we're not. We're not out here acting like, everything is good and gravy. Like, we actually doing the work and we're actually putting out stuff that we actually really experience. And so we don't want anybody to ever feel like, oh, the Colemans are perfect or the Colemans are this, because at the end of the day, like,
We people.
we people and
I
we
mean, we real
trying.
people. Like we
We
know we
real
not perfect.
people. And
That's
we
why
not
we
ever
going to
gonna act like we
therapy. Yeah,
perfect.
we ain't hopping on this thing to try to be perfect. We just hopping on to just show y'all the realities of being married. Like
And
you
our
know, the movies,
perspectives.
the
Yeah.
movies I was reading a book since we've been on break, but it was like, or I was listening to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, it was like whenever you watch movies, the movie always ends like when they get married. You know what I'm saying? Like if love stories, a lot of times they always end like when they get married, because like that's
Right.
like when it's as good as it's gonna get. But they never like show you a lot of times. It's like after they're married, like it's literally
It's
work
work.
to stay married. Like it's literally work. It's not just like, oh, marriage is easy. Like no,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
easy. Is it worth it? Yes, but it's not easy.
Absolutely.
But it's the same thing as like therapy or pretty much anything that's worth having in life. I kind
Yeah.
of think back to like the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yes.
you're not just gonna have the six pack just like waking up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
You
you
gotta
gotta
put in
actually
the
like
work.
continue to put in the work. It's like
And you
okay,
get stronger and
yeah,
stronger.
It's like you
Yes.
can't just like okay, like oh, I'm getting out of shape. Like let me put that work back into your marriage. Like you should
Yeah.
just keep consistently putting that work in over time.
Over
Yeah,
time.
and
Even
you're
when
gonna
you
stay in
got the
shape.
six pack, you still
You
go to
gotta
the
keep
gym,
putting the work
right?
in because you
And
just gonna
that's
get fat
us.
again. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're just gonna get
yeah,
fat
yeah.
again. And that's how I kind of looking at therapy and our marriage. It's just kind of just
Yeah.
personal development. You just gotta keep, putting in the time and the work
Mm-hmm.
because it ain't easy. Like you gotta understand, like you got another
And I
person and all of that.
and I think people, so like when we say marriage ain't easy, I think people be like, oh, they all trying to say marriage is hard and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, marriage can be hard, but when you go, I won't even use the gym because we've been using the gym so much, but like, it's just work. Like, it's not easy, it's not hard, it's just work. It's
Yeah.
intentionality,
It's
it's
intentional.
showing up for each other every day
I feel like when
and
we
being
first got married,
intentional.
yeah, when we first got married, or even before, like when you think of love, it's
Sorry.
like people always say like, love when you dating and stuff, love should just come easy. Love should
Yeah.
just be like natural. Love should be
And
this,
it's
that,
not,
and third.
and it's like the love may come
Yeah,
easy
it's
and natural, but it's still work.
It ain't always gonna be
Yes.
natural, and just like it's just like you really gotta change to be with an individual. Like if you
Yeah.
feel like the individual make you better, you literally gotta like change some of the stuff you're doing to make that individual happy. Like it ain't just like, I mean, I don't care what nobody say. You don't just show up and be who you is every day and your marriage just be good. Like your partner might be acting like it's good, but just
you just have to put
we're
in
not
work.
the same. Yeah, it's not the same people. When you got two people, you gotta be
Y'all gotta
mindful of
grow.
that
Like
other
the same
yeah.
person, we got married at 24.
24, 25.
I don't even know how old we was, but getting married at 24, at 27, we are not the same people. Like just in general,
I
we're
guess
not.
24, yeah.
How old are we now?
We're 27. I'm about to be 28.
Shit, we're old.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are not the same people we were then. And so, like, as much as people are like, I shouldn't have to change to be with somebody. First of all, you change naturally. Like, you're
Yeah,
just
you
going to change
change.
as you grow and learn and experience things. And so when you get together, it's not that you got to change who you are, but you have to grow together. You have to actively work to grow together and be on the same page with stuff. So it's like, you kind of do got to change with your partner or for your partner because the relationship has to work if both of y'all are in sync. So, but that's just our perspective. If you feel like you don't, you can comment below and
yeah.
give us your perspective. Let us know how you
Shit,
feel.
come
Come on, let us know. Because, I mean, we're willing to have anybody on this pretty pink couch that we bought. We got this studio. We got some chairs. We don't have them out because it's just us today. But, you know, we got a whole studio setup. So if you have a different perspective on it, we would love to hear it. I feel like with that said, baby, did we get any?
Shit. I'm gonna say, like, if y'all got any ideas, anything, y'all can comment below.
Yes, yes.
Or y'all can hit us up at info@odetoblaklove.com. You can DM on us on any of our social medias. Like, we open to any ideas. Like,
and we communicate back. Like, I run the social media for Ode to Black Love.
We definitely get back.
And I be on there having conversations with everybody. So message us, and we down to hear whatever you got for us.
If y'all know anybody that want to come on, hit us up or, send us to them or whatever it may be. But other than that, I think we good. Don't forget to head over Ode to Black Love. We got shirts up for sale. We got some season 2 shirts on the way.
Yes. We have some events that we're going to be doing. So follow us on social media to keep up to date with that. And before I get out of here, I just want to shout out this charcuterie board as well as this huge wine glass from Hours by Us. Please head over to Hours by Us to check out what they got. They got some fall stuff dropping. My girl Clark will get you right. So head on over to there. And like I said, this charcuterie board, we've been using it since last season, but it's so cute. And then that wine glass on them rough nights, baby, you know I fill it up. And it can fit a whole wine bottle. So, and who ain't scared to drink one by themselves? It's me. So anyway, with that being said, we'll go ahead and let that ride.